let's start with the shutdown. Lots of stuff going on there and
But
nothing going on there.
I've been so
Hold on, kill that out. Put up this mic. This we've said there are three solutions basically. Either the president intercedes, Chuck Schumer decides to go to Thune and strike a deal, or there's some renegade Democratic senators, renegade principals, whatever you're going to call them, who break and provide 60 votes to pass a clean CR. Here's Chuck or the Republicans gave. I shouldn't preclude that, but the same. Those are the forums: President Schumer, Thune, or Democratic senators. Here's what Thune says about the Schumer track. This is a tweet from somebody from Punchbowl. He says Thune said yesterday the solution here is not going to run through Schumer. Now we have these events coming up in the next 5 days that everybody said perhaps could force a solution. We've got the SNAP benefits running out. We've got the Obamacare premium, the re-enrollment coming up, where people will see very high premiums. And then, of course, Election Day and Tuesday. Some people believe that regardless of the results on Tuesday, that'll somehow spur us to a solution. Let me just make sure I haven't forgotten anything here. Oh, 108. Last night, the president went on True Social, posted a long screed, if I can use the word screed without being accused of bias. Here's the AP headline. Trump says Senate should scrap the filibuster to end the government shutdown. Donald Trump has regularly said, in various reasons, he wants the filibuster to be scrapped because he says the Democrats will do it anyway for legislation. They have it. Mitch McConnell was stalwart in blocking the president's interest in doing that. John Thune also not a big fan of scrapping the filibuster. The votes are not there. There's already a number of Republican senators on the record saying they will not scrap the filibuster. So, Sean, obviously we're not going to have a solution today, but what track are we on now to solve this, if any?
Well, first of all, I do want to. I mean, the Republicans are silly. The idea that Democrats won't eliminate the filibuster the second they get in is ridiculous. So, this is one of those dumb moves where we play this game saying we need to be better, and then they screw us. So, bad on them again. Bad strategy. Bad strategy. Bad strategy. We are no better. I mean, as you said, they left town, and most of them probably had a flight delayed, starting to finally feel it personally. Um, I mean, we'll see. I think this weekend. Um, the WIC thing continues to be, as we see through our own participants here in the meeting. I think this is going to be the point, pain point, where they're at home, they see people hearing about the issues that they're dealing with. So we'll see what happens when they come back after a few days being back in their states and their districts.
Dan.
Yeah, I'm now a little skeptical it's going to end soon, because the same people who are telling me, like, hey, I know we need to, kind of ultimately cut something here before this gets out of hand, are now saying, look at the polling. Like, the trend lines that we're going towards kind of break even have not kept going to where people are beginning to blame the Democrats. And so you have even people like Mark Warner, who you would think, between the federal employees in his state, he's traditionally fairly moderate. Other kind of people who would probably be part of the coalition of the willing to reopen it, who are saying, nope, this is worth, remaining dug in. So we may be heading not towards a, movement next week, but as we get towards Thanksgiving, I still have a hard time seeing going through Thanksgiving with this, that for a lot of reasons, but Schumer's holding everyone together.
By the way, when something like this happens, there's public polling that people read, to Dan's point, like, hey, the Washington Post did a poll. It's got to be noted, like, they literally yesterday got a presentation physically in person that said, keep going. So when the Democrats did. So this isn't like some random theoretical thing where there's a poll out there by Quinnipiac that they happen to read. They literally had a strategy session that said it makes sense to keep the government shut. So
Sean, in fairness to them, James Blair in the White House was up there a week and a half ago telling Republicans,
same thing.
Keep staying dug in.
Yeah, but the difference is Republicans are actually voting to open the government up, right? So the president saying get rid of the nuclear option.
Sean, all the public polling up until that Washington Post polling had things close enough that neither side could say this is a disaster. That Washington Post poll is either an outlier or it's a sign that things have changed, because there hasn't been a big public poll in a while. Would the Republicans have, through the RNC or some other way, would they have their own private polling? And could, if the Post poll is a reflection of things having changed, could that sufficiently pressure Republicans to offer something to settle it more than just you have to open the government first?
So I would guess that somebody at the NRCC has tacked that on, right? I mean, that's just there's. I mean,
But
I don't know.
just to give people insight of how these things work, shouldn't they be polling it every day?
Yeah, but the thing is, here to your answer, here's how they're going to poll it. Should the government be opened after, or should we address healthcare after we reopen the government? And they're going to come back and say, "Yep, that." And so, as you can imagine, how you phrase the question is going to matter. So they're
But it's
probably,
but the key question is, who do you blame, right?
right.
That's the headline of the post poll. Does the White House, do you think, have polling that either conflicts with the post polling or says the same thing? And again, couldn't that be the breaking point? They don't cave at that point, but they look for a solution if the post poll is right. And if you're the White House, you don't want to just rely on the one Washington Post poll. I'm just asking you.
No.
So wouldn't they have been asking that question every day? Who do you blame?
No, not every day. It's just not I mean, they're not in the field. No one's paying for someone to be in a field every day. There might be every
Once a
few
week.
days now.
Well,
every week.
but again, just to keep pressing on process, they know people who are in the field every day.
Yes.
They have friendly
Yes.
pollsters
but
who are in the
again,
field every
so
day.
all of this is going to come back to here's what they're going to say. I mean, like I said, I've seen the movie before where they're going to go, look, they're blaming us, but as long as we say we'll open the government and do this, it shifts. It's like what, an informed ballot question. As long as we tell them that we're opening the government and then we want to deal with healthcare, we win this argument. So they might get told right now, you're bearing the blame of this. So you should say X to shift that, right? They're not getting told, oh my God, open it up.
Got it.
It's here's what we need to do.
Got it.
I bet they're polling, and I bet the D Trip, the DS, like everyone is probably once a week on this. Is your base sticking with you? So I bet the White House says we're still at 95% with the base. The base is with us. Then, the Dems, I think, are the same boat. The question is that middle kind of, 15%, like where are the independents? And I do think if trend lines emerge, it absolutely will factor into how they think about it. And I think, we'll get to some stuff later on here. A little more to say on this.
They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America.
And don't forget, you can now listen to the morning meeting and Two-Way Tonight on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.